is now being recorded. Again, I'm John Scavola. I'm a Healy World member, just like you are. Uh, my wife is a homeopathic doctor. She and I have about 50 years of working with energy modalities, and we've discovered some things about the Healy that I think you're going to really enjoy finding out about. Um, can, can, can you guys raise your hands to make sure that you're hearing what I'm saying for you right now? Okay, good. So, as I said, this is not an official Healy World presentation, so please take that in mind. And I'm going to read some things about Healy's disclaimers and so forth. We have about 186 people on the call right now. Almost 600 have signed up for this call, so it looks like they're going to be coming in as we go forward. And a lot of people from Europe, Asia, Australia have wanted to be on this call, but they're glad that we'll be recording it and then posting it to various Facebook groups after this. And this is not something I'm getting paid for. This is strictly a Christmas gift to you all, and plus I can use the good karma. So that's why I'm doing it. Actually, really why I'm doing this because I love sharing exciting discoveries, and this is one that I think, like I said, Healy has been cleared by the FDA as a Class 2 medical device for the relief of acute, chronic, and arthritic pain and muscle soreness due to overexertion. Healy also has non-medical applications that use individualized frequencies to help balance your mind and body and relieve stress. Always use your Healy in accordance with its instructions for use. Healy is designed to harmonize your bioenergetic field and enhance recovery, vitality, and well-being. And I highlighted this sentence because this is what the whole presentation is going to be about how to harmonize your bioenergetic field and enhance recovery, vitality, and well-being. It is not to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, or prevent disease. The information in this upcoming Zoom presentation is for reference education only. It should not be treated as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. You should always seek that from a qualified medical professional. The existence of bioenergetic fields, information fields, acupuncture, energy meridians, energy chakras, auras, and the herein mentioned applications are not accepted by orthodox medicine because of lacking scientific evidence in accordance with orthodox medicine standards. What we're going to be talking about tonight is how to program your resonance for customized programs that you will be able to vibrate into your information field instantaneously. We're going to be learning how to do this for specific pain issues. You're going to be able to vibrate and capture the frequencies for essential oils, herbs, all of these things, including frequencies for alkalinity, sounds, symbols. If you're into pyramids, you're going to be able to capture the frequencies of the pyramids, right frequencies, divine powerful solfeggio frequencies, and all of these various intentions and more. Now, I'm not saying that you need to program in all of these. You want to program in what you find that resonates, what you would like to have resonating within your being, and these will enhance everything else you're doing. When you harmonize your bioenergetic field and enhance this method, your nutritional absorption, your microcurrent programs, your recovery from injuries, sleep, pain, and stress relief, energy, vitality, your subconscious and self-talk reprogramming, and law of attraction manifestation, chakras and meridians clearing, and your well-being, and so many more things are all enhanced by running these customized programs. One of the interesting things about the Healy is that it's what's called a transceiver. And a transceiver is a device that can both receive and send information. And we're going to talk about the way the vibration mode works in the resonance in a few moments. But one of the things that I don't know that everybody really gets yet is that when you vibrate from the resonance mode, it happens instantaneously. It's not traveling anywhere other than right directly into someone's information field. And it's not limited by delays or time or distance and so forth. This everything in life is vibration. Business is interesting. If you were to take a block of ice, which is solid, the atomic structure is H2O, right? Hydrogen, 2 parts hydrogen, oxygen, and it's a form of a solid because it's vibrating at a certain rate. And if you were to heat that block of ice and speed up the vibrations of those molecules, the molecules don't change, the vibration just changes. And all of a sudden, what's solid turns into water. Same molecules, they're just vibrating at a different rate. And if you continue to heat up that water and speed up the vibrations of those atoms, all of a sudden you have steam or gas and something that's invisible. Same atomic structure, H2O, solid versus steam, invisible. And the only difference in that is the vibration. And there are our physical bodies, everything in this physical universe vibrates at different frequencies. And there are other levels of reality that actually vibrate at different frequencies. We don't have it in the scope of this meeting to talk about that right now, other than when you set up a client in a Healy, you're opening up a window into that client's information field and their many dimensions of being. And it's really more of a portal. It's not something that it's almost like a wormhole or a doorway into another universe where you step through and you're into a whole different area. And it's for yourself as well as when you set this up for somebody else. So when you in the resonance mode, when you vibrate any of the programs or any of the custom ones you're going to learn how to do tonight, they are instantaneously transferred to the client. My wife has a dog as a patient that lives 3 hours away from us. And whenever she vibrates the program for the dog instantaneously perks up and starts moving around. Was very sick, couldn't really move, was always sleeping and laying around. And again, as soon as she started vibrating the programs to the dog, 3 hours away, instantaneously the dog jumped up, started moving around, and has been getting better and better since then. And I know many people on this call have had many similar experiences with not only with pets, but with their clients, with their friends, with their family. And the thing to know though, that is instantaneous. It always works. The client may not necessarily feel it because they may not be as sensitive or receptive, but animals are very receptive to the frequencies. So we already know about, by and large, about the sending aspect of the Healy resonance and the Healy in general. We know that the Healy can transmit microcurrents via the Pink app via electrodes. And then most of you know that when you're running a Healy Pink app, that about 3 feet around the Healy, it also emanates the frequencies. So if you were holding a cat or a dog, they're going to get those frequencies that are running through you, through the electrodes. And we know about that the Resonance Blue app resonates out frequencies instantaneously. But the very interesting aspect of the Healy is that they can capture frequencies, and we all have experienced that already. So that you would, when you're creating yourself as a client, you're holding the Healy in your hand, you're hitting vibrate, and it's capturing the frequencies of your information field, of your aura, and of your being. And when you're doing this for a remote client, ideally you want them in your presence so they can hold and capture frequencies, and let the Healy capture frequencies for itself directly. If not, the second best is if you have something with their DNA in it. So if you have something of their hair, nail clippings, and so forth, if you could place the healing on that, that's a much stronger portal that you're creating for the client. Thirdly, many of us can't do that, so you're capturing perhaps a picture of them and using your intention and clearing yourself as a vehicle to create them as a client. So you're already experiencing some of the frequency capturing capability. What a lot of people haven't known is that there's actually a way of customizing the Healy for all the frequencies and items that I talked about earlier, including sound. And the sound was the one I really got excited about. And I'll show you how to do that here in a few moments. I'm going to share my screen of my phone and walk you through some of this stuff. And I'm going to give you resources of where you can find frequencies to load into your residence, and that'll include frequencies for sound, light frequencies, solfeggio frequencies, and then how to also capture frequencies for objects, which could be supplements, vitamins, minerals. It could be essential oils, crystals, gemstones, and so forth. So let me share my screen with you right now. All right, so this should look pretty familiar to you all. I'm in my residence mode, the blue app on my phone. And I'm going to go into the list mode to show you some of the possibilities of things you could program in, what you could do with them. So I'm going to click on the little house down here in the left corner. I'm going to click on list. And these are all different programs that I've customized in my Healy that I can run at whenever I want to. And you can do this for other clients as well. So for example, if I wanted to run the 9 solfeggio frequencies, and the 9 solfeggio frequencies are supposedly some of the 9 most powerful frequencies in the world. And you could look that up, and I'll actually include some information about them when I put this all together in a recording in a PDF. But I would just click that and I can literally vibrate them and they will run sequentially into my information field here. By the end of the call, you'll learn how to do this for yourself if you want to do these or any of the other types of frequency programming. And again, I want to reemphasize being able to run these types of programs dramatically enhances so many other things in your life, whether it's nutrition, whether it's running even the microcurrents. Because when you're running these programs into your information field, you're essentially telling your information field, these are the most optimal frequencies that I want to be aligned with. And your body just starts aligning itself with that. And so it enhances everything else that you're bringing into your being through nutrition, through the microcurrents, and so forth. And so there's really a special way that you want to program this so that you're trying to achieve the most optimized way that your body can work. And so, and when that happens, your body can start healing itself. So we're not trying to fix or heal things. We're trying to bring ourselves into the true optimal state that we started out with, and so that the body can heal and have the energy that it's meant to have. So if, to start out with, if I wanted to program in a sound, you'd want to, let's say, maybe I should start out with something that's tangible. So I'm going to go into my and so this is a these are all the supplements I take every day. All right. And what you would do is you would set this up and you would put your Healy on top of the supplements or underneath it. underneath would be preferable, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm set up now to vibrate, capture the frequencies of all those supplements. So I would go back into my resonance mode. And I would click or analysis. And you would find the client that you want to do this for. In this case, it's myself. Or actually, I think I set up a sample client, Andy's sample client. Okay. And you would click record aura. Now, whatever comes up here doesn't matter because we're going to eliminate all the analysis that comes up. We're just taking these steps to get to a blank slate to program in our own currency program. So I'll do an analysis. And again, I'm not looking at these. It doesn't matter what these say. And if you click on two of them, it'll make it faster. So if you just actually click on one, it'll go away. And then I click on the second one, it'll go away. And I start an analysis. And again, this is just steps you need to do to get to a blank slate here. And then, again, we don't care which chakra it is. We don't care what the information is. We're trying to get to a blank programming place. So you would click this little X right here, this little red X, and eliminate that one. Then you would do it again, there's usually 3 of them. And now you go down to actions and click actions, and it'll say add manually. And now we have a clean blank slate to program anything we want into our Healy Resonance right here. And again, I showed you a whole long list. This could be sounds, it could be mantras, chants, prayers, it could be affirmations, it could be supplements. There's a host of things, and I'm excited to hear from other people, other ways you use this. For myself, I'm set up to run in supplements here. So first of all, you would want to go into the desired state. And what's important here is we want to state this as if it already exists. So you want to put in I am, or I have, or whatever. Not I want to have, I hope all my supplements work for me. You don't want to say that. You don't want to say, you know, even just put supplements. That's not taking advantage of this little space right here. So I usually like to start it out with gratitude, and I'll say, I am very grateful that I am optimized for all my supplements, or I am very grateful that all my supplements are nourishing me every, you know, whatever. You want to come up with something creative, but you really want to state it as I am, or I am very grateful for, and then state it as if it already exists right now. So in this case, I'm going to just say, you can say I'm grateful. I like to say I'm very grateful. So I'm not going to take all the time to fill this out, but I might say something like, I am very grateful that I am optimized for all the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that I need, something along those lines. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at this, I'm optimized right now. And I've heard a number of different individuals that have worked with this a little bit, and they fill this other stuff. My recommendation is you don't need all this. You totally want to focus on the state as if it already exists. I am very grateful for whatever it is. You don't need the description of it. You don't even need the present state, because we're totally focused on the desired state. And the information field loves it when you do this, because otherwise you're limiting sometimes where you could be. And you really want to use your imagination. Try to think of the most optimal state that you could be in and state it as if you're already there. And then when you get down to relevance, 100%, get down to potency, intensity, 10. You don't need to fuss with figuring out where you should be. We're looking at 100% relevance, 10 in the intensity. And the potency, you don't need to fool with these. These are all have to do with homeopathic types of potencies and dilutions. And that's a whole nother course that we might entertain doing. But for our purposes here, you don't need to do that. Every single time you program this in, put in the affirmation, put in 100% relevance, put in intensity 10, and then scroll down and add an image. What I like to do is take a picture of something on the screen that represents what I'm frequency gathering for, or maybe now in this case I'm going to take a picture of all the supplements on my desk here. So I'm going to take a picture of that. And I'm going to record the vibration, and it's all set to pull in and capture the frequencies of all those supplements that are sitting right there on the Healy. Now, you could add to that if you want to be, while it's doing it, you could be thinking, I'm very grateful, whatever statement you made, that the frequencies are being captured here by the Healy. But actually, even if you just set it there, you don't think anything, it'll still work. So now I would click record vibration, record. It's capturing the frequencies of all my supplements. And up here, there's a little X box, not X box, an X, and you would click that. And then you would click this little check mark. And we have just programmed in all your supplements into the Healy. Now you want to go to the little house in the bottom here and click on list. And I'm probably going to search for my name here. Oh, I didn't do this for myself. I did this for the sample guy. What is his name? Andy Sample Client. Okay, so this is the program I just created. Now, if you take your finger and you slide this to the left, okay, you can now rename this so you'll remember what this is for. Click rename. And you can put whatever you want here, supplements or supplement frequencies or whatever. And save that. Now you got it saved. And whenever you want, you can go into this mode, pull up your list, click supplements, click vibrate, and run this for whatever you want as far as timing goes. And generally, working with the recommended timing for resonance programs, this doesn't need to be a long program, depending on whether this is an acute or a chronic issue. Typically, it could be anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes, because it affects you instantaneously and doesn't need to be running for a long time to really help harmonize your bioenergetic field. So you literally can run this for a few minutes every day, maybe several, 2-3 times a day, depending again if it's an acute or a chronic issue that you want to help yourself with. Now, one of the things I discovered that's very cool about this is that you can add other frequency programs within this one, so that you don't have to have 5 or 10 different programs that you run all separately. You can literally load some other programs in here, and when you hit vibrate, they'll just all sequentially run. So you can do that, like if you were programming the solfeggio frequency, you could program them all in here, and they'll all run sequentially. I have some programs where I have frequencies in here for some knee issues, for some different issues I have. So I've had them all programmed in here, and they all run sequentially. And the way you would do that is while you're in, you would go again back into your client. You'd pull up your whatever frequency program you want to do this with. And you go down here and you hit actions, add manually. And you have a whole nother clean slate that you can add into this program. So I can literally load in another program in here for maybe something else that I take, maybe an essential oil I could add in here, or various things. You could create a whole program of different types of frequencies all in one and run them all at the same time, or sequentially, but it's all within one program. Now let me go back. And show you how I might do that for sound. Here again, I'm going to shift my screen because I want to show you where you can find these sounds, the frequencies of these sounds. There's a tremendous amount of these on YouTube. So I'm going to go back and share my screen. This is a YouTube page, and I just searched for Rife stress relief frequencies. This could be Rife headache relief. This could be almost anything you want to look up. Headache. Okay. And that frequency you're hearing right now is one for headache relief. Okay. And what I would do is I would take a picture of this when it's time to take a picture. And when it's time to record, I would play this, and I would put my Healy right next to my speaker on my computer and play this, hit record. It'll record it for about 2 or 3 seconds. And I have that programmed into my Healy now. And I can replay that Rife frequency for headache relief whenever I want and have that instantaneously go into my information field. So you can pretty much look up a lot of Rife frequencies all in here in YouTube. Another really good resource is something called Spooky 2. Spooky 2, say headache frequencies. Spooky 2 is a Chinese manufacturer of frequency equipment. And up until I heard about the Healy, I thought they were really the best on the market. But if you want to buy some Spooky 2 equipment, Cedric and I have about $6,000 worth of Spooky 2 equipment that we'll give you a good deal on. So let me know. If you but once you've experienced the Healy, the Spooky 2 is a dinosaur program. Really great company, great program, good pricing. But the Healy does so many more things, and especially with the resonance scan and the quantum sensor. However, saying that, Healy has a really, Spooky 2 has a really good library of frequencies on YouTube. And here you can even just see some for migraines, different issues. But you can go through here at your leisure and realize that you can program any of these frequencies into your Healy and be able to resonate them into your information field. This is where I found, I believe, one for, I just looked this up the other day and I realized that there was one for alkalinity frequency. Here again, that's not a pleasant frequency to listen to, but when you program that into the Healy, it will capture this frequencies of the sound and program that in. And you can easily run that to help balance out and harmonize the alkalinity within your body, which is very important. There's also a site here. It's called Online Tone Generator. This is a free website. And if you know the frequencies that you want to look up, for example, if you had 528 is one of the solfeggio frequencies, you could just type it in here. And you want to use the square wave. The square wave is the most efficient resonance frequency. Carolyn McMakin talks a lot about that the sine waves are not, don't work that well in terms of affecting you, but you want to have square waves. And the Healy runs the square wave frequencies for the microcurrents as well as the resonance. So you want to click square wave and then you play. That's 528. Again, not a pleasant frequency to listen to audibly, but very powerful harmonizing frequency to run into your information field. So that's online, tonegenerator.com. It's a free site you can go to. You can also look up, just Google download Rife frequencies, download Spooky 2 frequency list, and they will give you an entire list for free of, here's one from Spooky 2. They will give you an entire free list of frequencies for anything you could think of almost. So, you know, if you have anxiety, the frequencies are 1800, 304, and 6130. And so you would go back to the, you would write those down and you would plug into 1800 megahertz and program that into your Healy, and then do the next one, program that in, next one. And you can run those sequentially if you wanted to have programmed into your resonance specific program for anxiety. I showed you how to capture frequencies for objects. The other thing that's very exciting is if you were to go back in, and let's go back in. So if I went through the whole step-by-step process that I talked about earlier, where I went to the OR analysis and I went through that and I eliminated all the results and I got to a clear blank slate, I can go in here and click add manually, and I can program in affirmations, and these can be run into your information field and help to actually reprogram your subconscious, which affects so many things in our life, the self-talk that we have and so forth. This is a very, very powerful tool to work with if you believe in the idea of the law of attraction. All the things I've just shared tonight, and especially this one, will supercharge the things you do outside your healing. So if you've been trying to work with law of attraction, you're saying, you know, using all sorts of techniques, when you program in a law of attraction affirmation in here, it has tremendous effect in supercharging the manifestation of that. And it runs on automatic. A lot of law of attraction techniques recommend you set out an affirmation and say it 15 times, you know, periodically during the day, which is time consuming. You know, you might say, I am happy, wealthy, and happy, and I'm happy, wealthy, and healthy. I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. I'm happy, you know. But you can program that in here into the Healy and click a button, and that's going to run into your information field. And you can go do other things while your information field is being uploaded, optimized, and brought up to levels that you've always dreamed of. And again, here, if you want to put an affirmation in, you would want to put it in preferentially in the state of gratitude and that it already exists. So again, I might state here, I am funny. And apparently I need to run this one because nobody here is laughing at my jokes. And so I'm going to upload this later so that I will improve my information field regarding being funny. So, but here, let's say perhaps that is what something you want to become. You want to be funny. And you program it here, I am funny. I am very grateful to be funny. And that's all you really need right there. I'm very grateful to be funny. You come down here, 100% relevance, 10 intensity, no dilution, add an image, which could be take a picture of somebody or people laughing or something that seems happy. And now here's the trick. when you run the vibration here, hold the Healy in your hand and treat it as if it's a microphone. Now you only have 2-3 seconds for it to record, but you want to be thinking, I am funny, and say it. You hit record, hold it in your hand, and you go, I am funny, and it recorded it. And you can run that into your information field whenever you want. And watch out, the jokes will not stop coming after that. All right. Cedric, do we have questions that have popped up in the chat?
Okay. Is that it?
Yes.
Yes, much better.
Okay. Somebody treated me with light language several years ago, and it's had the effect of almost mesmerizing me. I would love to include some of that again, because I feel it was extremely beneficial. Now, how would I go about doing that?
So they send you certain affirmations of some sort, or what?
I was actually in her premises, and she treated me. She stood behind me and placed her hands on my back, and the feeling that I had was something that I have never ever experienced before or since, and I would like to recapture that. She spoke light language.
What's coming to me right at the moment would be, I would set up an affirmation and state it, I am feeling the feelings that I had when that person did that for you. You know, if you could imagine what it was and how you felt about it, I would put that affirmation as, I am feeling that feeling, those, whatever it is, the strengthening of it, or whatever you got from it. I would put that in an affirmation that you're feeling it again, and run that into your information field, and you will, everything about you will rise to re-experience that.
All right. Thank you very much.
John, you have time for a few more hands? Okay. Marian, please.
Marian,
Yes. You are still muted, if you can hear us.
So I see one here. So a woman said, so I can give my son his vitamins without actually physically consuming. Amazing. Yeah, but again, very, very important when you're working with clients. That has to be set up with their acceptance and approval. You don't want to get into a state where you're interfering in somebody's space, psychic space, or whatever it is. There's strong penalties for that karmically in so a lot of different ways. But however, yes, you can provide so many things for children, whether it's stress relief, all sorts of supplements of various sorts. And it's not necessarily just a substitute for those things. If they're able to take them physically, they'll gain more absorption from them. Because in general, most of the foods and supplements we eat, we don't get nearly the percentages that we think we do. However, when you run these bioenergetic resonance programs, it dramatically enhances stuff that's coming in physically for microcurrents or nutritional.
Another question, how would you go about combining multiple frequencies into a single program?
Okay, I call that a resonance smoothie. And so again, you would go in there and you would program it in, and then you would go in down the bottom and say add manually, would hit that, and it's ready to program in something different. and then you could add manually in another program, which could be a physical object or a sound or so forth, or an affirmation. So you can combine them all. Now there is a way of actually taking a whole bunch of frequencies and putting them all together in one. That's a much more advanced. There's free software that you can do, and that's almost really all half-hour explanation, which we don't have time for tonight. But for tonight's purposes, I would just put stuff in sequentially, and it would really speed up the processing of this. You know, when you run but again, this is not a substitute for running an all scan and then narrowing it down to a scan. The Healy is extraordinary in terms of scanning you and recommending frequency programs for the microcurrents. Extraordinary, and this is supplementary to that. And we don't have time right now, but I'm entertaining another course, which is how to use the homeopathic programs that are in the Healy, as well as the I Ching. Actually, in my opinion, the I Ching is worth the price of the residence all by itself. It's an extraordinary program that very few people really know how to work with. And all of the homeopathic programs like the Bach flowers and the amino acids, when you do an all scan, it doesn't scan for those. You have to individually run those. And my wife will tell you, those are like extremely important, that you at least run one of those every day, a scan, and then vibrate them, because they're holistic. They're not just one frequency, but they're holistically balanced and can help you in so many ways.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So my question is, this is regarding affirmation. How to write an affirmation? This has to be like the affirmation has to be in a written form of that I'm very grateful for, or the affirmation can be straightly written as I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy, or it has to be start with specific words like I'm very grateful. I hope my question is clear. Hello.
That's what I like to use and recommend. But you have to find what works for you and resonates for you, what you know, from an affirmation standpoint. But gratitude is probably the most beautiful place to start with. So I like to always keep in my affirmations gratitude to the universe, to whatever you relate to that way. I'm very grateful. It's in present time. I like to sometimes use the words optimal or optimized or love. And you know, love is again a very powerful word to bring into your affirmations, because everything we're talking about here all starts with love that flows through all the worlds, all the universes, all down into all our energy centers and so forth. And Marcus Shmuki talks about that, that it's really all love. We have 4 residences that we run. When I first bought one, the next day I told my wife, I said, we better buy a second one for you, because I know if this really does what it says it's going to do, I know I'll never see it again. And that's what happened. And so she hogs 3 of them. She runs them all day for patients and clients and friends and family and so forth. And with again, a remarkable experience. When I first ordered my Healy, she had been diagnosing me through homeopathic methods that I needed to work on my small intestine, my liver, and my stomach. And so when I got the Healy, I ran a scan through the residence, and it came up and it said my highest priority was my small intestine, my kidney, and my stomach. And I thought, oh no, I'll never hear the end of it for my life now. And but it proved to me that my wife knew what she was doing, and it proved to me that the Healy knows what it's doing. And it's just gotten better and better every day since then. So somebody's asked me, how do you run chakras, meridians, all in one program? Again, if you go on YouTube and look up Spooky 2 meridian programs, frequencies, Spooky 2 chakra frequency programs, or even Rife, they're all there, and you can capture the frequencies of those into your Healy and run them all in one program from the resonance. And you know, when you run a resonance scan, it'll give you the 5 top different programs, and then you can, you know, narrow that in. You still got 5, of different programs. And what's cool about this is that you can program in your own, very specific, that you really feel like you want to work with, and use that as a supplement. How much time do we resonate? Again, sometimes I just run them for a minute or two. Again, look at your chart, depending if it's acute or chronic situation. But really, you don't need to necessarily run these for very long times. They won't hurt you for running very long times, but it's amazing how fast your body will adjust and start inwardly aligning itself by these remote frequencies through the
Sandy has her hand raised. If we can address Sandy, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, yes.
present,
Can you hear me?
sort of.
So much. I really appreciate you. I also have a spooky tube, by the way, so I'm thrilled to learn ways to use this in place of the spooky tube.
Right.
Yeah. So if you were going to program a homeopathic remedy, would you do that the same way as you just demonstrated, or would the electronic device influence the homeopathic by placing it directly on it? How would you do?
Yeah, I would put the homeopathic solution you have right to the Healy, and the Healy will gather the frequencies of that directly and perfectly. That's a very, if you know how to do that and create homeopathic remedies and whatever, that's a very powerful combination there to be able to run those into your information field in addition to taking them physically.
Yes, as we know, the correct homeopathic remedy can be very, very powerful. So that's an amazing capability. I also posted earlier in the chat, there is a book called The Frequencies of Rifing that's on Amazon. I think it's free with Kindle Unlimited, but then you could also purchase it if you wanted the print copy. And it's a pretty comprehensive list of the Rife frequencies if you wanted something, having to look online and track it down.
There are, you can easily find a list of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of frequencies. I mean, the Spooky 2 has over almost 40,000 right frequencies that they have there, and they listed them out, and you can program those in. Somebody asked me about programming in chants and mantras, whether it's the Om or the Hu or different, something that you work with regularly in your life. Very, very powerful to program that in. Run that, put your Healy next to your speaker, play that sound, program it in, and it's very powerful to run that into your information field.
Yeah, that is very powerful. And I would be interested in, for those of us who are practitioners, maybe having a way to communicate on different ways to do this with clients would be very helpful.
And really what we've just talked about here, it really makes everybody that listen to this some of the most advanced users of Healy in the world, because very few people realize what they have here and how they could use it. It's kind of like having a sports car and only think you have 2 or 3 gears and not realizing, sports car here.
Right.
So
yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. It has been and I think everyone is appreciative, and we're not worried about all the technology. There's always hurdles when it comes to technology. So that's just kind of a trial and error till you get it. So the content is what I think we're all here for. So thank you so much for sharing that.
you're welcome. People are asking me about the recording. I'll work on that and put together the information. We'll probably have it posted within the next couple of days and take it from there.
Thank you.
We're just over the time here. Thank you again.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
And I look forward to seeing you on some of the other Healy calls.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank
Great
you.
presentation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Cedric.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
John, good job.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.